Hello there friends and welcome. For today's Pathfinder Enhanced Edition guide, we have an Archer. As I usually keep mostly to melee builds, I think this was about time. With this build you'll get amazing physical scores, 60 dexterity and even 42 strength for amazing attack bonus and also damage, which can actually go higher than here during combat. And the best part, super high critical range to 15 to 20, 14 to 20 actually, and even a ×6 critical damage multiplier. And yes, we are going Trickster. I know it's another Trickster build, but for Archer characters, nothing is as good, to put it simply, as the main weakness of bows is their very low critical range, usually only 19 to 20 even with improved critical, at the cost of higher critical damage. On the other hand, with Trickster, we can more than triple that, while further increasing our already great critical damage for a ×6. Plus, one of your most powerful mythic abilities that can deal bow damage as area of effect is also directly tied to critical hits, even better for our Trickster Archer. With Trickster you'll also get sneak attack. Trust me, you'll easily be able to machine gun enemies into submission, even from far away, for a true sniper build, except instead of a rifle, you have a machine gun. So without further ado, let us get into our updated Archer build. Alright, so I'd say for an Archer you have a few different choices. First, Fighter and Mutation Warrior. Slayer and for example Spawn Slayer or Deliverer can help you, as sneak attack can be applied to ranged attacks. Of course, Ranger and Demon Slayer is always a solid choice. You get huge bonuses against all demon enemies for free. Also, the Ranger combat style feats for free ranged feats. And of course Magus and Eldritch Archer too. Now my preferred choice is Fighter and Mutation Warrior. I don't think any of the other ones grants you as much as this. First, as a fighter you have tons of bonus feats, which is also somewhat true for Ranger and Slayer, but fighters have even more. You also gain weapon training, which is highly useful for more damage and AB. But you know, Ranger has favorite enemy and the Slayer study target and sneak attack. Most importantly, it's because of the mutagen. Even just at level 3 you already have +4 alchemical to dexterity, so will stack with annual buffs or gear bonuses. And later, at around level 15, when you upgrade into the Greater and later Grand Mutagen, you'll get to apply dual bonuses to both Dexterity and also Strength to increase our composite longbow's damage even further. Lastly, the capstone ability of Fighter, Weapon Mastery, is amazing for Tricksters, because it increases your bolt critical damage even higher. Eldritch Archer, I feel, kinda got the short end of the stick now that your Elemental Magus enchantments on hit, well, you can't proc Elemental Barrage anymore with them, it's only with spells. Of course, the Demon Slayer can also get the pet, which is on another class on its own. It's just that I have so many pet builds already, I'll just be going with the Fighter instead. For race, as always I like going with Human, and I'm easily enough. Even though we are a Human with an extra feat at level 1 and also a Fighter with lots of bonus feats, we are going to be quite feat starved until around level 17 or so. But since you have some free feats later on, you can also go with any other race of your choice. For the background, as usual, Street Urchin and Pickpocket. Archers are unique in that, just like dexterity-based characters, they have super high initiative, except they don't even have to move towards the enemy to attack, they can snipe them from far away. So the higher your initiative, the sooner you can utterly annihilate annoying enemies, especially because by acting first, before their round has come up, you catch them flat-footed for a much lower armor class. As far as ability scores, Dexterity is your main attribute for higher AB, and we also want some Strength for higher damage. You can honestly leave Constitution at around 12, because as a ranged character, you really aren't going to be hit at all. Now, I would actually dump Charisma to start with higher Intelligence, so we can get a few more skill points every now and then. The main reason is there are a lot of skill points useful to our build. As a dexterity-based character, we can achieve the highest trickery and stealth. Pickpocket even grants bonuses to them. Mobility is also needed, even if it's not a class skill. We'll have enough dexterity to make it good enough. Plus, the best longbow in the game requires you to have maximum ranks into mobility. Besides that, I would go with Use Magic Device, which is always amazing for any character, especially those that are not spellcasters, so you can use scrolls to cast any spell from any other class. The charisma penalty doesn't matter here, UMD is very easy to increase through buffs and so on. Lastly, I would increase athletics because we do have enough strength, and this is also very important for the Trickster Athletics Street Rig, which will let us get even higher than 20 base attack bonus for an extra bow attack and more damage through deadly aim too. Alright, as far as level 1 feats for our archer, well, as with any archer build, you are forced into picking 2 feats. Point blank shot, and then precise shot, otherwise you'll take a massive penalty when attacking enemies already engaged at melee with allies. Since we are a fighter, we'll get even more feats. I recommend you pick weapon focus and long bow. Rapid shot can wait for the next level. Level 1 is just the bugs in Canabras anyways. For deity, as you're going trickster, any that allows the chaotic alignments. Kaden can be pretty fun, there's also Desna. And then any chaotic alignment. On some level ups, you won't have as many skill points. Just go for use magic device instead of athletics and then mobility, trickery and stealth. Now as far as your level 2 feat, rapid shot. An extra attack is always great, but this can be a bit annoying because of the -2 penalty, which is applied to all of your attacks. As a fighter, we can easily overcome this and even remove it later through Mythic Progression. For level 3, deadly aim to increase our damage even further. Because we get our highly powerful mutagen right at this level, even when you already have rapid shot, you can still hit the enemy just fine, especially when you consider your high initiative. But let's say if you are playing on unfair, you might consider picking improved initiative first and delay this for level 5. At level 4, increase dexterity, which is also what you should increase on all of the other levels, for as high AB as possible. Then at level 4, weapon specialization and long bow. For level 5, improve at initiative. As I said, going before the enemy lets you catch them flat-footed for way lower AC. Great to overcome the penalties you have with deadly aim and also rapid shot early on. We also get our weapon training now for even higher bonuses to AB and damage, and of course we want bows. It's very easy to increase this even further through gear, as I will show you later on. For level 6, many shot is a must-have. Whenever you go for your first ranged attack, you'll fire 2 arrows instead of 1, for even more damage. This is just for the first attack in the round. For level 7, outflank, just in time for most of my other builds. Amusingly enough, if your ranged character gets a critical hit, and we'll be getting lots of them with Trickster very soon, your allies that are meleeing and flanking the enemy will get an extra attack of opportunity. The only difference with ranged characters is that your actual ranged character themselves will not get a free attack unless you have Snapshot, which you'll get later on. Still, this is very powerful to add even more attacks to our other party members, and I imagine most of them will be melee, including pets too. You also don't have to be close to the enemy for this to work, which is even better. Now, for your first mutagen discovery, you could potentially go with Preserve Organs here, and then the next 1-2 at level 11, because you can only upgrade your mutagen starting from level 15. The first Organs upgrade is just a 25% fortification bonus, and the second another 25% for a total of 50%. Fortification is basically a chance to negate sneak attack and critical hits. The problem is, as a ranged character, I don't find it that useful, because you are pretty much never getting hit. And spontaneous healing is just, well, the benefit is too little. You can actually go for Feral Mutagen. For the very rare cases where your character will be at melee range, you'll get an extra attack. Plus, this opens you for Feral Wings, which grants more AC. Not that useful, but hey, at least you'll have style because you'll get some pretty cool wings. So go with either Feral Mutagen or Preserve Organs. For level 8, improve at critical and longbow for 19 to 20 critical range, although we'll be tripling that very soon with the Trickster critical feats. For level 9, greater weapon focus and longbow. Then trained initiative to get even higher initiative based on our weapon training score, and key progression with bows, which is also what you should do for all of the remaining secondary weapon training powers. For level 10, dazzling display. Then at level 11, 2 choices. You can potentially already get started into the Trickster critical feats if you reach Mythic rank 4 at this level, which I don't think is going to happen for most players, unless you absolutely rush for it. Ideally, it's only at 13+, in which case, Shatter Defenses. The main reason I'm picking this earlier than my other builds, which get it at 15, is because all of our other feats until level 15 are already set in stone, so we have to pick it now. Then either the second Preserve Organs ability or Feral Wings for style. Then at level 12, greater weapon specialization longbow. Now as usual, before entering into level 13 or level 11 if you got Mythic 4 before that, be sure to level your character up to Trickster Mythic rank 4 to get access to the special Trickster feats we'll be getting from now on. Starting from level 13 onwards, I'd say you can stop increasing use magic device, you can get the rest through all sorts of different bonuses. Instead, fully focus on athletics, because from now on, our Trickster character will get benefits from this. especially once you get Athletics rank 3 Mythic Trick. For our level 13 feat, as usual, the first Trickster critical feat. Sadly, we can't pick 2 at the same level because our fighter bonus feat is only at the next level. Then go for Fighter's Reflexes as another training ability. For level 14, the second Trickster critical feat, and by now we'll already have the ultimate critical range possible. For level 15, the last Trickster critical feat for an extra damage multiplier. And then the first mutagen upgrade, Greater Mutagen. At this point, we can upgrade both our dexterity and strength at the same time. At level 16, because at this point you'll be at chapter 4, so there aren't really any random map encounters until around level 18 or so, you can dump from stealth and keep increasing athletics even higher until 20. You absolutely must have as high athletics as possible until around level 18, which is when we get the Greater Athletics Mythic Trick, which only scales based on your ranks, not the final modifier. Athletics 1 and 2 are based on the modifier, the last one only on the actual ranks, from 1 up to 20. At level 16, I'd say it's only from now onwards that you have more freedom when it comes to selecting feats. I would go for Point Blank Master and Longbow, so you won't suffer attacks of opportunity when you attack enemies at melee. This is mostly never going to happen because you are a ranged character, but from now on, since we have bonus feats, I'll also be getting the ranged attack of opportunity feats, just because we can. We have free feats after all. For level 17, Snapshot, which allows us to get ranged attacks of opportunity. I know it is super late, but the thing with this build is we don't have a pet to mount, so it's not like we'll be close enough to the enemy most of the time to get these attacks of opportunity. Then you can go with any other weapon training ability here. I would pick Armed Bravery. Remember to have 18 ranks into athletics at level 18, then 19 and 20 at the next 2 levels. For our level 18 feat, improved Snapshot for even higher range to our ranged attacks of opportunity, so you won't need to be as close to the enemy to get them. For level 19, well, you can pick Greater Snapshot here, but I'd rather get Completely Normal Spell instead for spellbook flexibility, as at this point we'll have the ultimate Trickster spell, and with this we get double uses of that for 100% critical. And of course the Grand Mutagen upgrade for a plus 8 alchemical to dexterity and also a plus 6 to strength. At level 20, just for showing purposes, here's how my skills end up. You absolutely must have 20 athletics and mobility at this point, not so much for the other ones. I would also recommend Trickery because we'll be getting a special Trickster ability that lets us dispel enemies based on it, and for the last point, either stealth or use magic device. And at last, we also get our Capstone Fighter ability Weapon Mastery to increase our critical damage even further by another ×1 multiplier. It doesn't need any saying, we want Longbow. For your last feat, you can go with Greater Snapshot. There's also Arcane Strike, which can add some minor bonuses to damage, since we do have a Trickster spellbook. Alright, now let's discover a Mythic Progression for our Archer. You have a few different choices here. To me, the ones that are the best would be either Close to the Heavens. You can also go with Instrument of Freedom. Bit of Fun will increase all of your skills by a +3 Circumstance, which is a very rare type of bonus. The only reason I'm recommending this here is because as an Archer, you are dexterity based, so you'll have very high ranks in Trickery, Stealth, and also Mobility. Even use Magic Device can help too. Stealth especially is in very high demand, as the checks tend to be pretty high, especially during chapter 3, to prevent random encounter ambushes while traveling through the world map. Close to the Heavens, on the other hand, has dual uses. First, you can heal any character besides yourself with a ray of positive energy, or you can use this to damage the enemies by the same amount as a ranged touch attack. The scaling is actually pretty good, both in power and uses. Instrument of Freedom, on the other hand, lets you buff the weapons of allies with Holy, which is always nice. I would keep it to either Bit of Fun if you want higher skills, or Close to the Heavens for the healing and damage ray. Now, for Mythic level 1, as always for any ranged build, Cleaving Shot, the ability to deal your ranged weapon damage as an area of effect whenever you kill an enemy is huge, and this even procs on critical hits too. For Mythic level 2, go with either Mythic Rapid Shot to remove the -2 penalty from all of your attacks, which is great, or Mythic Weapon Focus and Longbow. I would actually pick this one here at first, because we get Greater Weapon Focus pretty early, and Mythic Focus double the bonuses of that, so it's a +4 to all of our Longbow attacks. Rapid Shot is only a +2. You could potentially also already pick Mythic Critical and Longbow, but I would rather wait until Mythic 4. Because as I said before, Longbows will only really get high critical range once you get the Trickster feats starting from Mythic 4+. For Mythic 3, distracting shots to debuff the armor class of enemies. Then for your first Mythic trick, please remember, as usual, I already have a complete Trickster guide, but I explain every single one of these in depth. For now, I'll keep it simple, so Arcana rank 1, for Mythic rank 4, Mythic critical and longbow, as by now we can get even higher critical range through the Trickster feats. And speaking about them, to unlock them we need Perception rank 1 and also 2. Now for Mythic level 5, I find ranging shots rather useless as always because it requires you to miss, and this build stacks so many bonuses for the opposite purpose, not missing. Choose between either the bigger they are for some bonuses, as at this point you're fighting a lot of large and huge demons for bonuses to AB, or expose vulnerability for some extra damage, then be sure to pick Athletics rank 1 here. For Mythic rank 6, Mythic Deadly Aim, as at this point we can add a lot of extra damage to our bows. You could potentially even pick it earlier instead of Mythic Focus Longbow, although if you were on unfair I wouldn't do that. Then Knowledge Word 1 and Athletics rank 2. For Mythic rank 7, well, you can go for Ever Ready, as at this point you're getting started into the Ranged Attack of Opportunity feats. Otherwise, there's also Expose Vulnerability, as I said before. Then go for Trickery rank 1 here, and the extremely powerful Athletics rank 3 to get 25 base attack bonus for an extra attack and even more damage, especially with Deadly Aim, something that usually only Legends can get. As a Trickster we break the game apart. Sorry Legends. Right, so we have 2 Mythic feats remaining, one at 8 and the other at 10. And you have 3 potential ones to pick, so be sure to choose 2 out of these 3. Mythic Improved Initiative is great, especially for high dexterity characters. Mythic Rapid Shot will eliminate the -2 penalty, which is super annoying. And Mythic Weapon Specialization will grant you up to +5 damage. I like Mythic Rapid Shot because I hate having this annoying penalty, even though at this point you have so many buffs to AB that it doesn't matter that much. I'm just saying, pick the 2 you prefer. When it comes to Mythic Initiative, well, you are a high dexterity character, so in a way you'll have good initiative regardless. And then Lore Nature 1 here, plus World rank 2, which gives you even more critical chances. For Mythic level 9, Last Stand or Expose Vulnerability. I guess you don't need Last Stand as much as other builds because once again you are a ranged character, but you can pick it if you want. Then you might as well go for Infuse Magic Device. Honestly, because Infuse Magic Device will increase the caster level of all your scrolls up to your Mythic rank, this can highly increase the duration of buffs you get from them. So if you like using a lot of scrolls, it can be pretty useful. In this case, get Infuse Magic Device earlier, such as for example, Mythic 6 instead of Knowledge Word 1. Just remember to get Word 1 before Mythic 8 so we can get the second upgrade. And Trickery rank 2. The main reason we are getting this is because this is one of the ultimate dispelling abilities in the game, mostly for the final boss, who has an extremely high amount of pre-buffs that can make them a pain to defeat. With this you'll easily dispel everything. It does have a huge penalty, but it's based on your final Trickery modified result, not the actual 1 to 20 ranks. It's pretty easy to get very high numbers with this. Then for Mythic level 10, you might as well go for the Trickery 3, Greater Trick, or World 3 if you prefer. And then as a Mythic feat, remember the ones I told you to choose from, either Mythic Initiative or Mythic Weapon Specialization. Rapid Shot too if you didn't pick it before. Alright, so let's cover gear for our Archer Trickster now. For the amulet, for once, it's not Valexia's, although you can use it if you want an extra +2 to dexterity, it's just that we have more than enough at higher than 60. Back rank assistance is what you definitely should be getting instead. Whenever an ally lands an attack of opportunity against an enemy, you'll get to make a free ranged attack against the same target. Only once per target, but that's more than enough. This can highly increase the number of attacks you get, as my parties are built to maximize attacks of opportunity. For the armor slot, Web Strider is my preferred choice for the +2 morale bonus to dexterity, which you can't really get anywhere else. You can also go for Snake Skin. The thing is, it gives a +4 profane bonus to dexterity, and if you choose to accept Nocticulus Gift, you'll already get a +6 profane anyways. There are also some armors that can increase stealth, which you might find useful when traveling through the world map as to avoid random encounter ambushes. For the shirt slot, Wandering Con Man 100%. You can get this from Wojif's last quest if you don't corrupt him. The plus 10 massive competence bonus to trickery and athletics is amazing for our character. The bonus to attacks of opportunity is not so much, but can still help. For belts, at first belts that increase dexterity, later dexterity and strength, but I really enjoyed the Mangling Frenzy here for the extra critical damage boost by a huge amount whenever your character is raging, and well, I have a SKALD to provide that. Just remember to combine it with the Bane of Spirit Ring, so the enemies won't absorb the extra damage as it is applied separately to your character. For the glove slot, Gloves of Dueling. This will increase your weapon training bonus by +2, so we can finish at +6 for both attack and damage with both. For the boots, well, for any dexterity character, Ronak Sacrificed are certainly the best. And with it, we can get higher than 60 dexterity even. There is another pair of boots that can enhance ranged attacks, but you can only get it in the Demon Mythic Path. For the helmet slot, early on, the ones that grant initiative, eventually the Hat of the Bitter End as always, for the huge stacking bonus to attack rolls. Plus, as you might have noticed, it is exactly the classic archer's helm, like the Robin Hood helm, so you might as well have it for style. Then the Broken Trickster Glasses for some nice defensive properties, although in this case you can actually ignore it if you want, since Charisma and Wisdom aren't that important to us. You can also go with the Goggles of Piercing Gaze for more damage, and even the Goggles of Malocchio, although the debuffing effect on ranged attacks, well, let's just say the enemy will be dead before this can actually help, since our critical damage is huge at times 6. For cloaks, Cloaks of Resistance with the highest modifier as usual, but if you plan on having your archer stay far away from your other party members, the Lone Wolf's Cloak can also help. And as far as saving throws, we can easily make any through the Athletics TRICKSTER Mythic Tricks anyways. For the ring slots, first Merciless Shot to increase our bonus to point blank shot, and also the Ring of Guiding Star for even higher initiative, and the secondary property is great for ranged characters too, since chances are we'll get to attack before our other allies should then buff their damage. For braces, the braces of archery are a must-have. They grant a +2 competence bonus to attack rolls, something very rare for ranged weapons. And speaking about weapons, let's now cover our weapons and quick slots. For weapons, the ultimate bow in the game is the Killing Pace, thanks to the massive +10 competence bonus it adds to every single one of your attacks. If you are wondering about other great bows, please remember that I already have a guide with the best long bows in the game for full progression that you can check to the side here or in the pinned comments down below. As far as quick slots, a greater quicken meta magic rod, only so you can quicken the ultimate trickster spell Trick Fate for 100% critical chance, if you want to cast it in battle instead of pre-buffing. Once again, the Dragon Familiar Joystick Axe for extra damage, and extend meta magic rod to also extend the level 6 version of Trick Fate through completely normal spell for 6 rounds of 100% critical chance and 20 on all d20 rolls, which also helps for saves, skill checks and so on. The Imp Familiar to provide a very useful +2 profane bonus to trickery and stealth, and we are all about dex skills. Speaking about skills, the Signet of House Vespertilio to increase any you want, usually it's going to be athletics or stealth. Trickery can help too. And of course, since we have Use Magic Device, you can use any scroll to cast any spell from any class in the game, especially when combined with the Use Magic Device rank 1 trick to add a bonus caster level equal to your mythic rank for way higher duration. And of course, if you wanted to give a pet to your character as a fighter, you can always use the Triceratops statuette, even ride it in battle for a mounted archer. Well, so this was it from my updated archer guide. If you found it useful, please remember to like, subscribe, and even consider becoming a channel member too. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for watching and see you next time, friends.